Drake. One of the biggest artists in the entire world. He literally had one song go #1 for 11 weeks, and then had another one of his songs take over that #1 spot. Insane. He's all over the place, and literally everybody knows who Drake is. Hell, my mom knows who Drake is. That's crazy. But it seems like the sport world has not been kind to the sixth god, like, at all. It's gotten so ridiculous that Drake himself made fun of the situation with this post on IG the night before the NFL Conference Championships, but more on that a little bit later. In order to understand why this is a curse, why this is even being brought up in the first place, we must understand the history of Drake in the sports world. We have to figure out the instances of where Drake has made this public. So here's a chronological order of Drake's sports events that made this photo we're talking about in the first place. Note that a lot of these photos and a lot of these events were not football, so it's not really what we talk about here, but we'll come back to that, trust me, it'll all tie in. Alright, first off, we have the Toronto Raptors. Drake grew up in Toronto. I mean, if you didn't know that, the sixth god, we might have an issue, but in 2013, Drake became their global ambassador. Whatever the hell that means. He sits courtside at big games, and they even have jerseys in a full court made from the mind of Drake himself. And even though they've had great success since 2013, they lose in the playoffs, like every time. Even if they're the favorites, it's a joke. It's been LeBronto, for God's sakes. They haven't even made it to the finals since Drake has made a global ambassador mark in 2013. So we're gonna chalk this one into the curse category. That's the first big one. Next up, we have the Big Three celebration. You remember the Big Three? LeBron James, and LeBron James. No, I'm just kidding. LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh. They won the 2013 NBA championship. Everybody was partying it up, including Drake, who was partying with LeBron and Dwayne Wade the night they won the championship. Drake kind of denied it for a little bit, but it did happen, promise you. The next season, they lost. The Heat lost to the Spurs, who they beat in 2013. They lost in 5 games, and the Miami Heat disbanded like right after that. I mean, not the whole team, but LeBron left and went back to Cleveland. So, is it a coincidence? I think not. We're gonna put this one in the curse category. This next curse might be my favorite one until we get to the very end. This one is fantastic and also really sad. In the 2012-2013 season, Drake gave the Kentucky Wildcats basketball team engraved rings after winning the 2011-2012 March Madness tournament, and 2 years later came back to shoot with the team on the court, to some, let's say, not so great results, and then gave them an inspiring speech ahead of their 2014 NCAA tournament finals matchup against UConn. That didn't really work, as UConn won 60-54, and they haven't won a national championship since Drake gave them those engraved rings. Whoops! Sorry for your bad luck, Kentucky. There's also been some sports instances where athletes have been cursed by Drake. Yes, even athletes themselves have been cursed by Drake. Take, for example, Johnny Manziel. Drake released a song called Draft Day dedicated to and name-dropping Manziel in 2014. In fact, the art cover and the SoundCloud edition is Johnny Manziel. His career's been pretty down ever since. You know, I'm not saying that Drake forced it, but you know, I find it pretty funny. He's also had his pretty low ones like Serena Williams. Conor McGregor felt the pain in October of last year, having brought out Drake during his weigh-in, and Drake was dripping in the Irish flag. You remember that? Everybody was going crazy. Drake got the Irish flag, Conor's going crazy. He's one of the biggest, if not the biggest name in UFC. And then he lost in the 4th round to Khabib and got absolutely destroyed. So yeah, this curse is not going well for like anybody at this point. Now here's where the curse gets really juicy, and it starts to pick up a lot of momentum here. Just a few weeks ago, January 1st of this year, Alabama posted a video on their Twitter account of Drake talking about New Year's resolutions while wearing an Alabama hoodie. Ooh, weird. On your own Twitter account while he's wearing your own sweatshirt? Uh-oh, Drake curse coming. A lot of Alabama fans were scared. They said that Drake's gonna curse the team and he needs to take that hoodie off immediately or delete that tweet immediately. And yeah, those fans had a right to be nervous because they lost 44-16. They didn't actually just lose, they got destroyed. Absolutely slaughtered by Clemson. And it's one of the worst, if not the worst, loss by Nick Saban in his Alabama career. So it's not just like a regular loss in some of these instances. they get absolutely destroyed because of the Drake curse, and it absolutely boggles my mind. So now we get to this photo. So after the Alabama controversy, people started to realize that this could be real. The curse could be real. Drake has done it to multiple athletes and to multiple teams. So he made fun of himself on Instagram. He posted this photo the night before the conference championship games. And if you look at the shirt a little bit more in depth, it creates an interesting pattern. Like, seriously, I know I'm getting into conspiracy theories, but just listen to this and think about it for 1 second here. So if we go from bottom to top, you're going to see this interesting pattern. The bottom team is the New Orleans Saints, who played the Los Angeles Rams in the first game of the day. The game was marred by controversy, thanks to a pass interference no call on Nikhil Roby-Coleman. The Saints would go on to lose in devastating fashion, 26-23 in overtime. So, they were the first team to lose, and they lost on a very controversial call. I know they got to play in overtime, but it was a very upsetting way to lose, especially considering they lost in the Minneapolis Miracle just last season. The next team above it is the Kansas City Chiefs, who played the Patriots in a very exciting but also a little controversial game, mostly for multiple no-holding calls and the infamous roughing the passer penalty. The Chiefs will go on to lose the game in overtime, and their star quarterback Patrick Mahomes wouldn't even see the field as his hopes for his first Super Bowl appearance were dashed away without his consent. But let's examine a little bit closer. First off, this is the first time that both conference championships in the same year went to overtime. Ever! This man Drake really forced 2 overtimes in the same day. And second, both teams felt as if they were cursed. They felt like there was something on them. The Saints lost in a heartbreaking no call 1 year after losing to the Minneapolis Miracle, and the Chiefs lost without even having their star quarterback touching the football in the final minutes. So why does this even matter? Why am I even talking about this? Well, this shirt could really mean we already know who the winner of Super Bowl 53 is. Yes, if we look at the shirt, what is to be believed, the losers go in ascending order. So, the Saints lost first, then the Chiefs lost, and then the Patriots! The Patriots are going to lose the Super Bowl. This means that the curse, if the curse is to be believed, the Los Angeles Rams are going to win the Super Bowl in overtime in controversial fashion. Now, are you supposed to believe every curse you hear out there? I don't know. But, I mean, this is pretty interesting. It's pretty fascinating. And the fact that Drake was making a joke about this, and then even more crazy stuff's happening in the NFL because of it, because of crazy no calls, and the fact that the Chiefs lost without Mahomes touching the ball, and it goes in this ascending order, I think is pretty fascinating. Will the Drake curse strike on Super Bowl Sunday? We shall see. So that's going to do it for me, guys. If you enjoyed it, smash the like button, comment below. I know it's a very different kind of video than I usually make. It's more of a funny one. It's more of an interesting topic that I don't normally cover. I blended 2 genres together here. So, you know, if you want to hear, if you want to give your thoughts on this conspiracy theory, or this curse, if you will, and you think it's real or not, put it in the comment section below. I want to hear your thoughts. Subscribe to the channel. We got a lot of NFL content on the way, Super Bowl stuff, Super Bowl predictions, everything in between, everything you could possibly want during the next 2 weeks for the Super Bowl. You're going to get it, I promise you. So, thank you guys for watching. Dylan of the Bottom Line View. Peace